Hello, welcome to Pendulum. Pendulum is a tool that lets you store your calendar online and access it either from your watch or your phone or just a web browser. When you bring up the Galaxy Gear, we're showing here a model of the Gear S, you just click on the Pendulum icon and it starts. It gives you a basic menu, pretty simple to see. You have your calendar, you have tasks available, you have the ability to create calendar events, tasks, and also tags to tag these events in a calendar events and any tasks, and also the search option. Search lets you search for events by tag, or you could enter in search text actually. So if you search for the tag, let's say fun, you'll see fun times. If you did another search, let's say you wanted to search for the word this, you have a keyboard on here, which lets you enter in free text information, both for searching for events and for creating events, and you'll see that this keyboard has numbers and letters available and some characters. It's pretty simple because you can't put too much in a watch. So because of the way that the fingers on the screen interact, you basically want things to be as simple as possible. So we found that 3 rows with 10 characters wide is about as good as the keyboard over here could be, and you have the option to have once you're done with something, the done button is kind of as far away from the keys as possible, so you're not accidentally hitting it. And if you make a mistake, you can of course hit delete and enter in space for multi-words and so forth. So if I want to search the word this, now I could see 2 tasks or events that have the word this in there. Both this is great and fun times, I guess, has in here this is a party for sure. So the word this is found in both the details of a task or an event and in the title for the task or the event, making it a lot easier to search. So if you want to find out when you have lunch with Bob or dinner with Susan, you could immediately call that up. And if you want to see your calendar, basically hit view my calendar and it'll let you see month by month view of what's going on. You can see, let's say on October 15th I have 2 events, and I could go to the weekly forecast. In this case I only see these 2. When you view in weekly, if you click on the date, you'll actually see the events for that, and once again, if you click on that event, it takes you to the event view. And you also have a daily view, which is not too interesting. It's basically the same sort of daily view that you get from the week view. It only lets you navigate kind of day by day for people who find that a simpler way to do things. If you want to create an event, let's say you hit the button create, you could set the date on an event, you could set it as important, you can even add it to the task list. So if you have an event that is a task that, for things that you want to actually have completable, added to the task list, and then this mark completed option immediately appears. So I hit mark completed, and I could fill in all detailed information. In this case, it's get milk is the name. Done. I made a mistake because I wrote get mil, so that's a use case of why done gives you that kind of pop-up prompt, making sure that you actually want to continue. And I changed that to get milk. Now I'm done. Get milk. Now I want to set details. Just say get it at the store, right? So get milk at store. Now I've created a event. That's also a task because I marked it as a task. You can see it's listed as a task, and I marked it as completed. Let's say I realized that I needed to get more milk and I didn't really complete it, so I could go to the I could go to the main tasks view, and now I could see the different upcoming tasks. And the overdue tasks, those are tasks with a date from kind of before today, really. And then finished tasks. And let's say I realized I didn't want to get milk. I mean, I did want to get milk, but it turns out I didn't do it. I can mark it as incomplete, and just gives you a message, get it done sometimes. Now you see it's no longer available on the finished tasks, but it is available as an upcoming task because I still have to get milk. I don't really know why I put down hi as a task, but hi. That's the basic scenario of how the application works. You could create tasks the same way you create events. The only real difference is that if you're creating a task, let's say that has no due date, you'll notice that first of all, it doesn't give you the option to change the date on these tasks. It refers to it as a task everywhere, and you don't have that checkbox to set whether or not it's a task, because obviously it is a task. The only other thing really to show besides that is just creating tags. Couldn't be simpler. Under that creation screen, right? You could create tasks, you could create events, you could create tags. I hit create tag, and I could enter in the information for a tag. Let's say an event could be a sports event. Let's say I have sports. Done. Once again, prompts me. I'm really sure, because it's very easy to accidentally hit a done button on a watch screen. We take the lessons of those calculator watches from the 1980s and apply it to here when we design the keyboard. And then, you now have, under your list of tasks, you have sports now that you could search by. So that's the main way that Pendulum for gear is used. Also, it has some sort of intelligence pushed out to it. So if the server-side Pendulum will attach certain information, such as a map or weather, to a task, you'll also see that when you go to view the task for the day. And that's the basics of Pendulum for gear. And as you can see, this is running on the Gear S emulator. We sized it to run on both the Gear S and the Gear 2. Anything that's basically the Tizen OS on top of gear.